everyone. Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen everyone. Welcome to the Live Granny. Come in, sit at my knee, and let's have a story. Here I am in my library living room with all my friends. And today, well, we're going to have some special stories. I'm wearing red and green. I have some interesting earrings. And Penelope is wearing an interesting thing on her head. So what do you think the stories are going to be about, boys and girls out there in Storyland? Of course, we're going to do some Christmas stories. So the first one that I'm going to share with you today is actually quite a special story because the author of this book, Hemina Shah, is actually a very good friend, might even be a relative of a very good friend of mine. And this book she gave to me for our library. It's called Cookies for Santa. All right, let's read Cookies for Santa. It was Christmas Eve and Olivia was helping Mommy to prepare a plate of cookies and a glass of milk for Santa. I'm sure you guys are getting ready to do that soon. On Christmas morning, the glass of milk was empty, and so was the plate. There was an envelope on the plate with Olivia's name on it. I wonder, what do you guys think? Do you think there's a note from Santa? Well, let's see. Well, Olivia picked up the envelope and gave it to Mommy. And Mommy read, "Dear Olivia, thank you for the cookies and milk. Next year, please leave more cookies for me. Merry Christmas, love, Santa." Olivia opened the box with the big ruby red ribbon and took out her present. "Thank you for the new beautiful doll, Santa," she said excitedly. You probably noticed Olivia is getting bigger. So the next year, Olivia remembered Santa's letter and she placed more cookies on the plate for Santa. But on the Christmas morning the next day, the glass of milk was empty and so was the plate. There was another envelope on the plate for Olivia. What do you think, guys? From Santa again? Let's see. Oh, Olivia picked it up this time and opened it herself. Olivia could read the letter. "Dear Olivia, thank you for the cookies and milk. Next year, please leave more cookies for me. Merry Christmas, love, Santa." And then Olivia opened the box with the bright blue ribbon and took out her present. "Oh, thank you for the backpack, Santa," she said excitedly. So the next year, Olivia placed a large plate of cookies for Santa with a glass of milk. "Ooh, this should be enough, Mommy," she said. And you guessed, on Christmas morning, the glass of milk was empty and so was the plate. And again, there was an envelope for Olivia. We don't have to guess anymore. We know it's from Santa. And now Olivia is at least 3 to 4 years older, she again picks it up and reads it. Dear Olivia, thank you for the cookies and milk. Next year, please leave more cookies for me. Merry Christmas. Love, Santa. Olivia opened the box with the big leafy green ribbon and took out her present. It was a lovely necklace. Thank you for the necklace, Santa, said Olivia. Now let's just take a minute here. Santa is certainly asking for a lot of cookies, and you've all noticed, right guys? The plate is empty. No wonder Santa has a big tummy when he goes ho, ho, ho. It's all those cookies he's eating, and Olivia's is just one house he goes to. Well, the next year, Olivia placed a big bowl of cookies with a glass of milk for Santa. And then Olivia did something that many of us would like to do. She hid behind a curtain, waiting to ask Santa, how many cookies can you eat? Well, at the stroke of midnight, Santa arrived down through the chimney, but he wasn't alone. He was followed by some elves. Maybe you guessed he wasn't alone. And with a twinkle in his eye, Santa said, "Oh, Olivia is such a sweet girl. Today there will be leftover cookies." So Santa wasn't eating those cookies all by himself. And that's when Olivia jumped out from behind the curtains and yelled, "Surprise! Santa!" Well, Santa and the elves froze. The frightened elves hid behind Santa. Children are not supposed to see Santa, but Olivia wasn't a child anymore, was she? Well, Olivia walked towards the elves and smiled at them. And of course, they smiled back. Olivia ran to the kitchen and took out the cake that her mother had made for Christmas lunch. And Mommy had been so clever, she had already cut the cake into slices. Santa and the elves, and it looks like Olivia, enjoyed eating the cake, and there was only one slice left. Soon it was time for Santa and the elves to say goodbye to Olivia. They waved and disappeared up the chimney. Of course, the next morning, there was no note for Olivia, and this time there were leftover cookies. When Mommy came down in the morning and opened the fridge, there was only one slice of cake left. "Where's my cake?" she shouted. And Olivia just smiled. All right, so that is the story, Cookies for Santa, from Hemina, Shah. I'm sure that you enjoyed that story, and I'm wondering how many of you figured out that maybe Santa wasn't eating all of those cookies. So that's our Christmas story for today. We will all say Merry